Now it's time to see what's happening in the NFC West. We'll go ahead and start off with the Arizona Cardinals. They've had a little rash of minor injuries in OTAs, including two rookies, safety Deion Buchanan, who came down with a little turf toe, wideout John Brown, who was nursing a hamstring. Both are thought to be pretty minor, and they shouldn't miss too much time. The other buzz coming out of the Cardinals is Carson Palmer supposedly looks really sharp his second year in the offense under Bruce Arians. They expect a lot of good things from him. They expect to have a good grasp and a pretty solid offense. So we'll have to see what happens. Moving on to the Seahawks. Seahawks didn't really have a lot of big fancy moves, catch your eye kind of free agent signings. Most of what they did was taking care of their own. They got an extension for Richard Sherman and Earl Thomas, which is big. So there's not really a lot of splashy moves to talk about, although they're the Super Bowl champs, so it's pretty obvious they probably have the least amount of holes to fill. Moving on to the 49ers, who were arguably a play away from the Super Bowl. The big news is Vernon Davis is skipping OTAs. He wants a new contract, but with a new contract looming in the coming year or two for Colin Kaepernick, it's going to be hard to kind of commit that kind of money that Vernon Davis wants. Word is that he's probably not going to skip training camp. He's just trying to make a point in OTAs. But he could take a hard line and he could skip, and it could be interesting because they really need him as an offensive weapon. They're really lacking explosiveness if he's not on the field. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Moving on to the Rams, they have a lot of questions on their offense. They decided to stick with Sam Bradford. Some people question that move. Is he the guy? Can he stay healthy? But they seem to think he's the guy, and moving forward, they're going to roll with him. He also didn't have a lot of help. Receiver department, they didn't really do a lot to upgrade the receivers. They didn't, take any in the early rounds of the draft. So they may be lacking a little weapons there. Now their defense is formidable. It got even stronger in the offseason. You got to wonder, though, is just that strong defense enough to carry them into the playoffs? If they don't make the playoffs this year, it'll be a decade-long drought of not making the playoffs. So they got to be hungry to make the playoffs. I guess we'll have to see this season, and that's a wrap.